The following podcast contains mature subject matter, adult themes, and may also contain profanity. You have been warned.
Hey everyone, hey, and welcome back to The Absurd. I think you know what it's all about.
Yeah, I think so.
You've been here
I
before.
hope so.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But for those of you who
If
may
you
be
don't-
joining us for the first time, A, welcome. B, you're awesome. C, The Absurd is about many things absurd. Absurd histories, mysteries, strange goings-on. Things that are freaky, funny, and sometimes frightening. Oh, and D, welcome.
That was
That-
great. That was a great opening. You
that-
should do that one every single time.
Giggle puss over there. That's Mel. Hi,
It
Mel.
is. Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good. It's Monday.
It's Monday.
I was afraid that you might not show up because we normally
Why?
record Tuesday. But I didn't know if you got a message about recording today.
I didn't get one.
Oh.
I got like 6.
Oh, well, that's
yeah.
good. Yeah, so
yeah.
there'd be
Constant reminders. We're recording, right?
there'd be really
Just
no
to
excuse
be a
then.
sarcastic ass.
Who?
Oh, I don't know. Who
I
could we be
don't-
talking about?
I don't really deal in sarcasm
Uh-huh.
much.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, did you have a good weekend?
Did.
Did you?
Did.
Good.
Lots of hockey again.
Oh, nice.
You know, that's the life of playoffs.
Did you have any donuts?
Actually, I did.
So did I.
I did.
Where'd you go? Really?
Donuts and deli.
Oh, what kind?
I had the blueberry fritter.
Oh, yeah, that's a good choice.
Oh, so good.
I had a couple donuts from Anna Mae's up in Millbank. Have you
Oh,
ever
yeah.
been to Anna Mae's?
Yes, I have.
Dude, their honey dip donut. Oh. Usually, honey dip donuts are, they're okay. There's nothing wrong with them. I've got no ill will towards any donut. But these, my God, man.
Do they have honey crullers?
I don't think so. Because
Oh,
those are
wow.
probably my favorite.
I love honey crullers.
Oh, me too. My parents were in Quebec a few years ago, and they were like in eastern provinces, and they asked for a cruller, and they're like, "Eh." Or,
They
"Eh?"
sound like that, eh?
Probably. And then
Huh?
they figured out that the locals call them tractor tires.
Crap.
Yeah, that's it.
Tractor tires?
Yeah, it starts with a T, like Timmy or tomato.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah,
They
crullers
are
amazing.
delicious. I used to work at Tim Hortons
Uh-huh.
many, many years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
That's when they used to actually have a chef making the donuts.
A chef.
Yes. And
Really?
we had a chef making the honey crullers, and he would make the honey cruller Timbits, which are hard to find.
Yes,
So
they
if
are.
anybody knows where to find them in the KW region, please let me know.
Yeah, just like the OV thing we had a few
Yes.
last year.
Yes,
Maybe Ben will
because they
step
are
up.
so good, but I can't find them. Anyway, he would make them, and he would call me back when he had them ready to go, and they'd be on the skewer of
Like a kebab,
oh, it was so good.
a cruller kebab.
Honestly, they were so
Damn.
good, and they were still really warm, and oh,
Yeah, yeah.
mm-mm.
You see, it's like, old-fashioned plain donuts.
Yes.
Now, they're a bit dull, but when you get them fresh
Yeah.
and warm,
Yeah.
mm.
Yeah. It's like a good old Krispy Kreme donut if you warm that up for a few seconds.
Yeah, I'm anti-Krispy Kreme, though.
Really?
Yeah. No, I don't think their donuts are bad, but they came in here all cocky and American, like, Tim Hortons is done. Forgetting for a second that, yes, we like donuts, and Tim Hortons coffee, let's face it, is largely shite.
It is.
Although the dark roast isn't bad. But, Krispy Kreme never had a prayer. Never had a prayer.
No, they're good, but
Yeah.
they're good for a treat once in a while.
But I heard it's like the same fat content as a Big Mac.
Yeah. Big Mac.
There's something I haven't had in a long time.
Tummy just growled too when I said that.
Last Thursday, of course, as many of the locals know, we had an election here in the province of Ontario. I'm not going to offer my feedback on the results. But I was working at a voting station that day. And my God, was it long. Oh, so tired by the end, dude. So I had to be there. I was there for quarter to 8 in the morning, and we wrapped it up at 9:30 at night. And God love my father. God, both of my parents.
Mm-hmm.
But my dad picked me up. I said, I'll get a cab home. He goes, then he messaged me later. Goes, hey, if I pick you up, how do you feel about going to Wendy's?
Oh, well, I wonder how you feel.
What
about
kind
that.
of stupid question is, I'm dead against it. Like, are you kidding me, man? Oh, it was,
Wendy's is pretty good.
Oh, pretty good. I love it. I adore it.
Yeah.
But you went away last week, eh? You were, I think you
Yes.
mentioned at the beginning of the show last week that you were going to Niagara.
Yeah.
Home of the Falls.
Home of the Falls.
And you went, I understand you went on a water slide.
Yes, I did.
How was that, Mel? It was a good time?
Not a good time.
No?
No.
Tell the people.
Some of the smaller ones are all right. But I decided to go on, they have the tube rides there.
Uh-huh.
And they're very dark tunnels, for one. So I get on with my son. You could either go by yourself or on a two-up.
Right. On a tuba?
On a two-up.
Okay.
And so me and my son went on. He sat behind me because he didn't want to go first.
Right.
And as soon as we started,
He bailed?
he's like, I don't like this. I don't like this. Because it was pitch black.
Sorry, he sat behind you, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was pitch black.
Okay.
The whole time he's like, Mom, I don't like this. I don't like this. I'm like, I don't like this either. Because it was dark and my oldness doesn't like it because of motion sickness.
Right.
So that was my first experience with that.
Cool.
Then my daughter wanted to go, but
But you and Liam did go?
Yeah. We went.
Okay.
We went down.
Well, good for you.
And
Good.
that one was fine.
Yeah.
Other than feeling motion sickness.
Sure.
But we landed and it was fine.
Clearly.
And then me and my daughter went up. She wanted to go by herself.
Ooh.
So we took single tubes.
Yeah.
Well, then she decided she didn't want to go now.
Yep.
And I went down by myself. I did not make the landing. Let's say that. Because when I hit, I think I was leaned back too far. So when I hit the water, my legs went like flying up over my head. I flew backwards right under the water. Thought I was never going to come up again. I was never going to surface.
That place has to have CCTV. Like, I would gladly give $100 to watch that. I'd loop it. I would literally put it on an endless loop.
Just my legs.
If there was sound, to be better, because there's probably a shrill shriek of terror.
I didn't have time.
God, I would have loved
I didn't have
that.
time to shriek. When I finally emerged from the water, the lifeguard that's standing on deck, she looked over and I was just probably like a drowned rat, and she had a good chuckle out of it.
Did she?
So, yeah, she
good
did.
for her.
I'm like, you're welcome.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
But wasn't
dying.
it kind of better that it was pitch black? Like, you can't really,
in the tube itself, but you still have to come out the end. That's right.
No, I get that. Yeah. No, I'm just meaning like...
No,
'cause
pitch black was not fun.
it's been a really long time since I've been on a water slide.
But
But
I had
I
other
loved it.
ones that were open and they were fine.
Yeah.
And the tube ones went outside too, so
What?
it was kind of cool. It went outside of the building, and it was all covered, right?
Oh, right. I was going to say, because wouldn't that have been kind of cold and snowy and shit?
That actually would have been kind of fun if it was
I
open.
guess.
But anyway,
I did once have a dream that if I won a massive lottery, I would build the world's tallest and longest water slide in
would you
Elmira.
now? In Elmira.
Yeah. I think it'd be awesome. And I could build a slide from my balcony down to the pool,
You could.
but it'd be really steep to cover the distance.
Well, you could have it go out over King Street and loop back
Whoa.
around and do like a slow
King
decline.
Street, that's like 4 blocks away.
Yeah, go all the way down there.
You
come all
remember
the
it
way
has to be
back.
down, otherwise you're just going to stop sliding on it and be stuck there. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So, yeah, everything else is cool.
But yeah, everything's good. I gotta give a shout out to my friend Evelina.
Oh,
by the
yes,
way.
please.
She's been a big supporter. She's a very good friend of mine. And I just want to thank her for all the support on our pages.
Yeah.
She likes and
She
shares
likes
everything.
on
and
Instagram.
Yeah, she's
awesome.
She's good people.
Sure is.
She should come on the show.
She should.
Yeah.
Never mind.
What?
Well, I was just going to beg the question, like, why does she hang out with you then, with her being such a good person? Ha! Whoa. That was mean, eh?
It was mean.
It
You
wasn't.
want me to come back?
Of course I do.
All right.
You'll
Then
be fine.
be nice.
No.
No. Just no.
I'm going to ask our faithful listener, Ben Bowman. Remember, he's the one that told us we could find OV on tap at the Heidelberg.
Yes.
Maybe he knows where we can get cruller Timbits.
Yes.
Or donut holes, as they're otherwise called.
Or if there's another place that isn't Tim Hortons.
Oh, heck yeah.
That have honey cruller donuts. Come on, people.
Oh,
Give me what I want.
I'd go on a quest for that.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Wonder if Albert's Donuts in Cambridge does. Apparently they're really good.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Brodnik donuts, but they went anti-vax, and I can't get behind that.
Yeah, I just didn't care for the overpriced donuts.
Oh, they're not cheap, but it's not like you're sitting there and wolfing
It's like
down
Lady Glaze.
three of
Lady
them.
Glaze is closed down too, apparently.
I think they moved.
Oh, really?
Pretty sure.
Oh, I thought they were done.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, you're done.
But yeah, anyone know where to find honey cruller donuts that are not Tim Hortons
And awesome.
and honey cruller Timbits?
Mm. But either or.
Either
Like
or.
an
Just
and
a
would
honey
be
cruller
awesome.
anything?
Yeah, yeah. But not honey cruller like
you've
dog
got me.
chews or something. We're not interested in. Well, I'm not. I can't speak for Mel.
I might.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Hey, do you got a story for us?
Yeah, let's talk about some stuff.
Oh, yeah. I love stuff.
We're going to go a long ways back.
To when?
1747.
Ooh, that is a long time
I
ago.
know.
How old were you then? Anyway, sorry.
Anyways.
Carry on.
Jeremy Bentham was an English philosopher born in 1747. He became a leading theorist in Anglo-American philosophy of law, and a political radical with ideas influenced the development of welfarism. He advocated individual and economic freedoms, the separation of church and state, freedom of expression, equal rights for women, the right to divorce, and the decriminalization of homosexual acts.
Yeah, this guy was solid. I know
This
about
guy, like, it was actually hard to pick some because there was such a wide variety of things that he stood for.
Like which
and
ones to include, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you want to
Like,
include them all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
a lot. Like animal rights was another big one
I
that
know.
he was involved in.
Yeah,
So
this guy's solid, man.
yeah. In 1826, he helped found the University College of London. It was the first English institution to admit students of any race, class, or religion. Despite being named a child prodigy, Jeremy Bentham led an unusual life. As well as being a fascinating radical thinker in the 18th and 19th centuries, he had a walking stick he called Dapple, a teapot he referred to as Dicky, and an elderly cat he named the Reverend Sir John Langbourne.
That I like.
Yeah. But in death, Bentham was even more unusual. He asked that his body be preserved so that he could be wheeled out at parties if his friends missed him. He just wanted to be a part of everything, you know?
Yep, I dig.
Bentham died on June the 6th, 1832 at age 84. He had continued to update his will right up to the month before his death and made careful preparations for the dissection of his body after death and its preservation as an auto icon. As early as 1769, when Bentham was 21 years old, he made a will leaving his body for dissection to a family friend. There's two aspects to the removal. The first is the physical removal of the head from the body when he died. Bentham had made a special request that his head be preserved in the style of the Maori, as like the indigenous from New Zealand, which I had to look up, which was really interesting.
Yeah, they're they're the rugby team, the All Blacks.
Yes.
Not because they're black, but because they wear all black.
Yep.
And they do that. I can't remember the dance they do. I want to say it's like the haka or something like that. It's called.
Okay.
It's
yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Sorry.
It was really neat. That actually could be another story. Just that whole
Yeah, totally.
how they preserve heads and stuff, and it was kind of fascinating.
Just for the record, the rugby team has no involvement in preserving heads.
No, probably not.
Okay.
Bentham had intended the auto icon to incorporate his actual head, mummified to resemble his appearance in real life. Southwood Smith's experimental efforts at mummification, based on the preservation practices of New Zealand's indigenous Maori, involved placing the head under an air pump over sulfuric acid and drawing off the fluids. Although technically successful, they left the head looking distastefully gruesome, with dried and darkened skin stretched tautly over the skull. Delicious.
What are you going to do?
So, as the result, the head that Southwood Smith said was not suitable for display, which is why he had a wax model made fitted with some of Bentham's own hair. The real head was placed on a plate between his feet. The body is his own skeleton, padded out with hay and dressed in his own clothes.
With hay.
The real head was displayed in the same case as the auto icon for many years, but became the target of repeated student pranks. It was later locked away. In 2020, the auto icon with his real head was put into a new glass display case and moved to the entrance of the UCL's new student center. So before it was all open. It was just in a big wooden box.
Yes.
So they could get at it.
Yes.
Now they're like, hey,
It's under glass.
maybe we should put it behind glass.
Well, and this is, I remember my ex, who was English, her name was Sarah, and she worked for British Medical Journal. And she told me about this. I'd never heard of this dude. And despite all the fantastic things he stood for and the work he did, arguably the most interesting thing is that he had himself preserved.
Yeah.
Right?
So he could show up to meetings and stuff.
He does. And that's what I was going to say. He, like, whenever they have their yearly, whatever the meeting is in the boardroom,
yeah.
he is brought in there.
Yeah.
Like,
and they have glass eyes put in to the
Yeah.
head, too. So it's
I could cut it.
oh, my gosh.
You know, you think, okay, well, that's really creepy. It isn't. It isn't. It's only creepy because we kind of are taught to think of such things as creepy.
Sure.
Right? But it's the dude's wishes,
Yeah, I know.
you know? And this was a good dude. He wasn't some monster, you know?
No.
Again, quite the opposite. So, but
Yeah.
it is really weird. It's a fascinating, fascinating case, this dude.
I saw it on TV. It was some documentary. I watch documentaries all the time.
Right.
And it was one of the stories that they were covering. And I'm like, what? Because I was walking past the TV when it came on. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what did I just see? Because you just see the real head down between his feet.
It is, yeah.
It's absurd.
Ooh.
It's absurd. Do you want to be preserved in a glass box like
I
that?
haven't thought about it.
No, you
Maybe.
should.
Where would they put me? Do not say it, bingo.
I was gonna say at Lions Hall.
Hell with that.
Don't have the CT anymore, so it has to be the Lions Hall.
Not going to be either. Maybe Wendy's.
Maybe Wendy's.
Maybe.
You can be the new mascot.
But it doesn't get me burgers. I guess I
Well.
would be deceased anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well, think about it.
Yeah, okay.
I'll ponder
Put it in
on.
your will.
Anything else on Mr. Bentham?
That's it.
All right.
That's all he wrote.
Guy's dead on his feet. Hey, I'm going to take us back a ways, too.
All right.
To 1823. That is the year that one Phineas Gage, which is a cool name, was born.
Phineas.
He was a young construction foreman who suffered a gruesome accident that not only changed him, but changed the history of brain science. In 1848, while blasting through rock to build a new railroad near Cavendish, Vermont, an explosion sent a 1 meter, 6 kilogram, I guess I'll translate that, 3 foot by 13 pounds. So 1 meter by 6 kilogram iron rod up through his cheekbone and out the top of his skull.
Goodness.
The tamping rod landed 80 feet away. So it was really hustling, dude.
It's quite the force.
Damn right. And it, quote, smeared with blood and brain.
Ew.
Remarkably, Gage lived, in fact, for another 11 years. He lost one eye and had a permanent hole in his skull covered by a thin layer of skin. I wonder if you would stick a rag in there if it's like raining out or something. Gage was a medical marvel. there had been a long-running debate in the 19th century on whether different regions in the brain govern different... I'm going to take that because I know I was like, brain. Like a fucking zombie. Brains. That's zombie.
You need to leave that in.
You think so?
Yes, that's really brain.
Okay, I gotta... Okay, hang on. Anyway, yeah, so they were like undecided on if parts of the brain govern different behaviors. Here was a case of severe damage to the left frontal lobe, followed by a dramatic personality shift. It seemed to prove the point once and for all. Quote, it laid the path for the first real brain surgery in 1885, Margot Caulfield, director of the Cavendish, Vermont Historical Society, said. It opened up a whole new horizon. You can survive a brain injury. You can touch the brain, which means you can do surgery. It's really, really huge. Gage had been well liked by his coworkers and his employer, but later his doctor reported that he became, quote, fitful, irreverent, indulging at times in the grossest profanity. I like him. A friend said, Gage is no longer Gage. Based on my experience with people who have had similar types of injury, you can talk to them and they sound completely cogent. And then you talk to them another time and it's like, what planet are they on? Says Caulfield. This is the horror of traumatic brain injury. By the way, if you ever hear the acronym TBI, that's what it stands for.
Oh, yeah?
Traumatic brain injury.
Yeah, okay.
Some families just cannot handle a patient like that. Gage was unable to work on the railroad, but he still needed a job. For a while, he made money by exhibiting himself around New York as a curiosity, showing off the holes in his head and his famous tamping iron. Then he was offered a job as a long-distance stagecoach driver on the Valparaiso-Santiago route in Chile. It was a 100-mile route, 13 hours, handling a coach and 6 horses plus passengers over rough terrain. Gage lived in Chile for 7 years and then started having epileptic seizures. He died in 1860 when he was 36 years old. Over the years, scientists have interpreted Gage's stories in different ways. At first, he was seen as a triumph of human survival. Then, for decades, he became a textbook case for post-traumatic personality change. More recently, Gage's case has been interpreted as a story of resilience. For a man who was supposedly antisocial and volatile, Gage's ability to hold on to a challenging job in Chile suggests that he'd regained his independence and social adaptability. Perhaps Gage's story is a textbook case of another sort, showing the brain's capacity for rewiring after trauma. The gift of neuroplasticity is why we're able to handle so much that life throws at us. I am fascinated by what he overcame to survive for so long as he did, says Caulfield. The resiliency piece of his story fascinates me. I think resiliency is just hardwired into our DNA. One thing I read on another site about this dude was that many neuroscientists were of the mind that his time in Chile, being a stagecoach driver, helped in his, let's not say healing, but his ability to adapt. Because it was so repetitious. It was routine. It was the same thing all the time.
Right.
And that helped his brain recover from it.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm going to do an infographic on this, and the size of this rod that went through his head is...
It's massive.
The very fact that he survived at all is incredible.
It is incredible. I remember seeing the story.
And it's long.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably... Well, it says 1 meter long.
Yeah.
Like, that's...
Yeah.
You know, that's incredible, man. And I don't know how big around it was, but it was like, I don't know. I'm going to hold up my hand so everybody can't see it. But it was like that big around, dude.
Yeah.
What is that? Like the size of, like a banana almost.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yes.
Never mind.
Just like a banana.
Just like, well, I'm trying to Like, I don't know. What would you say it's as big as?
I don't know.
Right.
Cucumber?
Here we go. Hey, don't worry. I got a story later for you today that'll be right up your strasse.
All right.
Yeah, so that's Phineas Gage.
Yeah. I found it interesting, too, how it talked about his personality changing.
Yeah.
And he kind of turned into an asshole.
But it would flip.
Yes.
Like, he wouldn't always be that way, you know? And that, yeah, he had this hole in his skull that was just covered by skin. Gee whiz, like... You don't really want anything hitting that, do you?
No. Like the soft spot.
But wouldn't you
on
sit
a
there all
baby's
day
head.
and poke at it?
I
like,
would.
Yeah, I would too. Like, shit, I got brain on my finger.
Your earring hole grows over and you get that little bit of skin.
I still have it in there.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, right there. Why don't you wear earrings?
I can. That'll never grow over.
Anybody can. Yeah. So that was cool, man. I enjoyed researching that one.
Phineas.
Phineas.
That's the name of my neighbor's dog.
Is it?
Yeah.
Isn't it also... Oh, no, it's Phileas Fogg in Around the World in 80 Days. Anyway. Yeah, you got a story for us, eh?
Sure.
Yeah, cool.
Isaac Sprague was born
That's a good name.
Sprague?
Both of them.
On May 21st, 1841.
We're like way back in the day,
Yeah,
eh?
I know.
Cool.
I know.
Cool.
Weird stuff happened then.
Ooh.
This was in East Bridgewater, Massachusetts, just north of Boston. Neither of his parents had any health concerns, nor did Isaac.
Wow.
For the first 12 years of his life, anyways.
That's pretty solid back then.
One day, however, young Isaac complained of a cramp, and despite an enormous appetite, began losing weight rapidly.
Oh.
His panic-stricken parents were at a loss of how to help him. Called in a succession of doctors, none of whom could diagnose the cause of his thinness with the medical science of the time. One even suggested that he had been swimming too much. Because there was one theory that he would be swimming in like with the local pond.
Oh, there's parasites.
And parasites in there. That was one of the theories.
That's a good theory. It's a good theory.
Whatever the cause, Sprague's appetite remained healthy even as he grew thinner and thinner, eventually weighing just 43 pounds and standing 5 feet 6 inches tall when full grown.
Wow.
You should see these pictures.
I want to.
We'll have to do an infographic on that one for sure.
Yeah.
He worked for his father, a shoemaker, then grocer, for much of his adolescence. But with his weight steadily dropping, he found it difficult to keep his energy up. When his parents died in the 1860s, that would be a long life, the weakened young man was no longer fit for work, and he began to look for a way to turn his condition to his advantage. In 1865, a touring carnival owner spotted Isaac Sprague and offered him a job at $80 per week, which is about $1,500 in today's day.
Wow,
that's pretty decent.
Pretty solid, yeah.
Sprague took his place among the bearded ladies and giants, drawing in curious onlookers easy to see the living skeleton for the next 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Deciding to take a break from show business, Sprague courted, I love that term, courted, and married Tamar Moore. The Spraggs settled into a quiet domestic life. Tamar bore 3 sons, each of whom grew to normal, healthy size. But weighing just 40 pounds, Sprague was still too weak to hold a regular job, and with a family to support, he soon turned to the sideshow once more to make his living.
Yeah, sure.
With Barnum's Sideshow, he became a favorite of audiences throughout the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. Although he enjoyed steady fame as the Thin Man and the Living Skeleton, Sprague didn't enjoy circus life and several times sought employment elsewhere. However, he grew progressively weaker, with the weight that never rose above 50 pounds. Wow. At times, he was forced to wear a flask of milk around his neck just to stay awake and keep his body nourished throughout the day.
Wow.
So he could just sip on milk all day.
Yeah.
His financial circumstances weren't helped by lifelong debts incurred as a result of a gambling habit and bad luck.
Yeah.
Since he never failed to draw a crowd, Sprague went back to the circus time and time again just to make ends meet. After numerous medical examinations throughout his adult life, Sprague was diagnosed with a case of aggressive muscular atrophy in 1882, a disease that causes the muscle tissue to waste away, which is probably not good for him.
Yeah. Or, I mean, not anyone, but particularly
No.
him. Yeah.
The next year, he agreed that upon his death and in exchange for $1,000, Harvard Medical School could cut my body open and make a post-mortem examination to find out if possibly why I am so thin. And then they will place it in the museum of the college where it will remain.
Huh.
Eventually, the strain of simply getting enough to eat took its toll, and Isaac Sprague died of asphyxiation in poverty in Chicago of January 5th, 1887. Days after, allegedly wagering $250 that he wouldn't survive past the following Saturday. Clearly, he did like to gamble.
Well, he won that one. Well, he didn't win shit, but...
Although it's unclear if Sprague's body did indeed go to Harvard Medical School for study, his grave is located in Hanson, Massachusetts, near the town where he was born. So, kind of sad. But...
Yeah, so we don't know, because we don't know if it went to Harvard, therefore it was never studied.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm far from anything medical in my background. Not even a science grad, for God's sakes. But it does sound like some sort of protein, like...
deficiency or something.
Can't process it.
Yeah.
I actually know somebody who had that. They could not process protein anymore.
Oh, yeah?
You know, it's the old protein plus fat plus carbs equals energy.
Right.
And protein is a building block, right? So, wow, I'm looking forward to seeing some pictures of this dude.
It's terrifyingly peculiar.
And I don't mean not to be indelicate, but does it almost look like the pictures you've seen of, like, survivors from, like, Auschwitz?
No, because, yes and no, I suppose, but his head... looks normal, right? Because your skull is one size. I mean, so is your skeletal body, but just the way your head is shaped, it looks like a normal
So
head.
he's not all sunken in the cheeks?
No, but
really?
like the rest of him is real thin.
Oh, wow.
Like it really is like a living skeleton.
It's weird. Remember the one we did way back when of the dude back in like it was like 16 or 1700s in France who ate everything?
Oh, yes.
Like,
yeah.
And I mean
everything.
Yeah.
Like
corpses,
yeah.
rocks, cats, you know, because he had an insatiable appetite.
Yeah.
I have no idea why I say it insatiable that way, but I did. I'm leaving it. I'm a rebel.
All right.
No, that was a good story, man. It's interesting. I look forward into looking into that action.
So yeah, that's the living skeleton.
Yeah, that's horrid. And he wasn't very old when he died either. It sounded like he was like maybe 40s.
Yeah.
I don't blame these people at all for going to like sideshows. Or what else?
What else are you gonna do?
And that's like 72,000
Yeah.
equivalent now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back then, probably tax free. That's pretty solid. You know, I mean, granted, it wouldn't be a ton of dignity involved in the gig,
no.
but you know, I don't know. Does any job really have a ton of dignity when you boil her down?
Not really.
You know, you're working to make someone else rich.
Yep.
I am going to bring us out of the 18th and 19th centuries, much as I do love those times. I'm going to bring us to the now.
Okay.
The right now.
The right now. Right here. Right now. Right here. Right now. You know that song?
I do know a song called Right Here, Right Now by Jesus Jones, which came out in the late 80s, which is awesome.
Okay.
It's not the one you're singing.
Fatboy Slim.
No, I do like Fatboy Slim, though.
Good
I don't
stuff.
know that.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Are you talking like Funk Show, brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Rockefeller Skank.
You're a skank.
That's the name of the
Go
song.
ahead.
He was in the house Martin this day. Anyway, so yeah, now you are. Would you classify yourself as a heterosexual woman?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to ask you a question.
All right.
I want you to guess and be reasonable. What do you think is the largest known penis on humans, like not blue whales and shit, but on
Not
humans?
a horse.
No. How, and you can do it in imperial in this one instance. How long would you guess?
Ever? Oh gosh.
Well, no, I don't know.
Idea.
We can't say ever, but in recorded, where it's actually been.
I don't know. Ron Jeremy's supposed to have a big one, isn't he?
I don't know. Who's Ron Jeremy?
Yeah, right.
He's a dick. Pardon the pun. No, he's like a rapist.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Why would he have to?
Why does anybody? Nobody has to.
Well, no, I know, but like, given what he does for a career.
How do I know? Maybe it's all the hair. Maybe he was really itchy all the time and he just couldn't take it anymore. I don't know. No, he got done. Maybe not rape, but certainly sexual assault.
Really?
Yeah, man. Fuck yeah.
Bad.
Pardon my language, but to hell with that.
Yeah, no,
itchy
I
boy.
don't know. I don't know the answer to
Itchy
that.
boy Ron Jeremy. Okay, well, you just sit back and wait.
Okay.
All right. So, a UK man who boasts the world's largest penis has revealed the many downsides to having a Titanic tallywhacker. Yeah, I didn't write that. That's pretty English. Struggling to put on clothes, feeling faint while erect, and receiving twisted propositions. The phallically enhanced man, Matt Barr, revealed the supersized secrets in a recent interview. By the way, I cut out some of the innuendo in this because it was just like, okay, shut up.
Okay.
We're not in grade 6 health class for the first time. So this dude, he first gained international attention during an April appearance on the British talk show This Morning. A recent scientific study measured his manhood at, now this is erect, of course, 14.2 inches. Nearly 3 times the global average of 5.1 inches. There is no known term for his condition, but Barr says his mammoth member is often referred to as a macrophallus, which essentially means a preternaturally large penis. While this might seem like a dream come true in our porn-obsessed society, the Cambridge graduate says that having a big penis is a lot harder than it seems. I wonder if that was... I don't even think that was an attempt at W innuendo. Erections can make him sick, he claimed, because their size puts a strain on his circulatory system.
Right.
Yeah, totally. There's a lot of issues with blood flow, he said. That's partly why my size kind of fluctuates a bit as well, because it's very difficult to have that much blood flowing around there, explained Barr, who authored the upcoming biography, A Long Story, Life with One of the World's Largest Penises. I could have done so much better for that title, man.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I've already spent time thinking about it. Without giving too much away, I don't qualify. All right. So, I've got lightheaded at times as well. Getting erections and things like that, and you can't get fully erect. I have heard about that. I have heard about that with dudes with massive appendages. Can't get fully erect. Not enough blood.
Not enough blood.
I've taken some various medication over time to try and shrink it, which seem to have had more like the opposite effect. Finding clothing that fits is another hassle, disclosed Barr, who's forced to buy a size up when shopping. Waist size-wise, always make sure there's plenty of room up front. You can get some good ones, he explained. There is also custom underwear that people sell, designed for people who are either naturally well-endowed or inject things into them. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm not entirely sure I wish to know what that means. So I'm just going to move along. Unfortunately, those compression shorts aren't big size fits all, as they can get uncomfortable when worn for long periods of time. During his April interview, he recalled a mortifying instance where he was barred from a yoga class because the instructor thought he was aroused due to his big bulge. Yeah, like, you know. The issues aren't just physical either, according to Barr, who says he's received some strange propositions since his April appearance on This Morning. No doubt. I have had people ask me to come around and clean their house naked or something. Most of the stuff is too explicit to print, recalled the bewildered fellow, who's had to turn down many of the kinkier requests. He recalled one bizarre instance where a guy asked to draw him in cartoon form as a giant and do all his sex giant stuff, a fetish known as macrophilia.
Oh boy.
Of course, not all the asks have been bad. Barr claimed he even landed some dates due to his famous phallus. Nonetheless, due to his age, the Brit says he has no plans to cash in on his large penis via OnlyFans, as he might have were he half his age, explaining, "I'm sure if I was 20 years younger, I would have, because I'd be more focused on making sure my parents were all good. I'd be in the gym constantly, all these things." Instead, Barr is shedding light on the pitfalls of having a Mondo memoir, which is slated to drop in 2025. Among other tips, the star warned those who crave that big dick energy to be careful what you wish for. And it does, it mentions a line in there with our porn-obsessed society.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, Mel, we're adults.
Yeah.
Ever look at porn?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'm sorry, but the vast majority of guys in there, as you may be aware, are bigger than the average bear.
Right.
That is to say, bigger than the average dude.
Right. Right.
And I don't like it. Like, I don't find it intimidating, or I don't find it resentful or anything. I just find it stupid. Why does it have to be that?
Right.
Like, I don't want to see a woman with, 84-inch guns.
Right.
Because it's so
Right.
such an anomaly.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. I'm like, the same could be said about the other side, too. Where it's, people, they have women on there that aren't, quote unquote, normal.
Right.
It's not something you're going to see from day to day, right? So it's all the fantasy. It's all the fantasy of...
But why? Why
I
is
don't
that?
know.
Because I remember, and I know I won't get into it, I know some people don't like this comedian, Amy Schumer. She does have a really good line one time when she's talking about how guys are all obsessed about having really big dicks. And she's like, there's no point in having a stretch Hummer if you have nowhere to park it.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I've said, not in those words, but I've said that before. There's only so much room.
Right. No woman wants
So-
the shit pounded out of her cervix.
No.
For,
I will run far, far away.
Yeah, I can't imagine that feels good. And I'm betting this guy, like, other than being, a curiosity almost, he probably doesn't get much sex.
Maybe not.
Well,
No.
like...
Just a tip.
Well, I don't want to be graphic, but you could theoretically hurt somebody.
Yeah.
But
is it like... And maybe you don't know. I don't know anything about this story.
I'll confess.
But
I don't have a 14-inch penis.
is really?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'd have noticed. I'd have a chart on the wall, like, at this age, at this age, at this age.
A growth chart.
Yeah, dude. Measured in hockey sticks almost with this guy. Sorry, what were you going to say?
It talks about length.
Mm-hmm.
Does it talk about
Here we
girth?
go. Here we go.
Well, no, because I'm like, is it like an elephant trunk? Or is it just like, a long spaghetti noodle?
Well, I'm going to
where
guess
my
it's
mind
probably
goes.
somewhere in between. Because, although if it was like an elephant's trunk, he could like eat buns. Like he could be typing.
Himself.
He could be typing at work and yet still eating a muffin with the trunk.
Oh, he could be eating a muffin.
That'd be awesome. And I bet it's probably bigger than a piece of spaghetti. Yeah. And sadly, there probably isn't any pictures of this guy's phallus online.
Right. Yeah, he should, hit up OnlyFans.
Well, I'd
do it anyways.
and we get busted for putting it on social.
Yeah.
But I have got an idea just now, actually, how I might circumvent this whole issue. But no, like, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
And I feel quite bad for the guy.
No, I mean, all jokes aside, it can't be fun.
No, like,
It can't be fun.
but and I know there's surgeries like there's like breast reduction, but penis reduction, that would be tricky.
Is that a thing? I've
Well,
never
I don't
actually
know.
heard
I don't
anything
know.
about that.
But I mean, the penis has a couple of chambers in it, right, that fill with blood when it's aroused, hence the erection. So they're kind of like balloons, almost in a sense.
Yeah.
I don't know how you Like,
I have no idea.
yeah, no, again, I'm not a doctor
No.
of any nature, much less a penis doctor.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I said, I felt bad for this guy because he was being quite straight up, and he wasn't being like, because there was, even in the article, the guy eliminated some of the giggly words because I'm just like, for Christ's sakes,
The giggly words.
we know what I mean. Like, it's a body part.
Yeah.
Let's all be mature here for a moment, right? Dick. Yeah. So anyway, we'll see what I can
interesting.
find. I know that what you'll be doing as soon as you get home.
Absolutely.
You'll be on the Googler.
I won't even wait till I get home. It'll be in the elevator.
Bloody hell. I'm gonna stand on the other side of the elevator. Away from you. Well away from you.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, so that's we're leaving it on a
We're leaving it on a high note.
sort of, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit of business. I've completed our little merchandise video.
Awesome.
Woo. And I have somebody else who's very interested. I was out
Really?
for dinner with her Saturday.
Oh, cool.
By the way, because we do this almost every damn episode, talk about food. I went to Aberb,
Yes.
and I had their braised beef grilled cheese.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, my God, man.
Good.
Beyond good.
Mm.
And they have some fantastic beer there.
Yes, they do.
You'd really like their Abe Light.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, that food was good. Anyway, the friend I went with, she's a listener. She's quite a faithful listener, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her how we have some merch. And she's like, oh. Well, she was, I want a couple shirts, I want a tote, and I want a
Cool.
mug. And I'm like, yo, yeah, right.
Okay.
Sweet.
I'm gonna get some tumblers, too.
What does that mean?
Like drinking cups.
Oh, I thought you meant like you use in gymnastics.
Maybe we could brand those, too.
No, I don't want to brand those. I'd get some tumblers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I drink stuff.
Yeah. I was gonna get some because she makes them as well, the girl that we get stuff from. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna get her to make one of those, too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll hold off a little bit.
Yeah.
On the video.
Well, you can still do the video.
Oh,
and
thanks
then-
so much.
Yeah. Do the video. Put
Okay.
the video up, and then if we have more stuff, we'll let
Just
you guys
update
know.
the video.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have anything you'd like to say to the Absurdians?
Well, it's stuff I say every other time, so
But you should do
probably
it anyway.
know. You guys should go check out our website at theabsurdpodcast.ca
Yeah.
and go find some stuff to listen to, preferably us.
Because from there you can go to our links like Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, Apple, Deezer.
These.
Actually, you know what? I was at my uncle's funeral last weekend, and my first cousin, he works for QNX. Do you know who QNX is?
No.
Didn't you work for BlackBerry?
Yes.
That's a division of BlackBerry.
Oh, wasn't when I was there.
No, because they're doing all the self-driving vehicle stuff.
Ah.
Yeah. Anyway, he uses Deezer.
Oh, well, look at that.
Look at that. Full circle, dude.
Yeah.
Full circle.
Yeah.
But yeah, go give us a listen, please.
Yes.
Give us a review. That would be awesome. 5 stars, always great. And do share. Please tell some people. I told a couple people I was working at the election last Thursday. Co-workers. Wasn't bugging the voters.
No.
Although I did
Slip it into the voter card.
I did have a dude come up near the end who was pretty obviously ahead, if you know what that old term means. And he completely smelled of marijuana.
Yeah.
And I took a whiff and I went, that smells good. And he looks at me and goes, no, it doesn't. And then kind of smiles like, you don't smell nothing, man. It was awesome. Anyways, I was really
cool.
tired, so it struck me as funny.
That's too funny.
Yeah, so give us a listen, give us a share, give us a review. Visit us on Instagram, Facebook. We're now on TikTok as well.
Yep.
It's all under the absurd. Look for Mel with the paper bag over her head, and you'll find us. So that's it for this week, everyone. Take good care of yourselves and each other.
Bye.
Bye.
The Absurd Podcast is written, produced, and recorded by Rod and Mel. Music by Audionautics.com.